Die Hard is an action thriller released in 1988, directed by John McTiernan. But before you start, I had a present for you.
Have you?
You have to open it.
I have to open it on camera.
It's like a cat Christmas
I do like the
things.
Christmas paper. Very nice.
Love it. Love it. I hope you haven't got it. Yeah. You got it?
Have I got it? No.
Oh, I love
Because
it.
I don't have it.
How cool is that?
Wow, that is amazing.
Do you wear scarves?
I do now.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Of course I do.
Do you like?
That is amazing. That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my
I'm
life.
so glad you like it because I saw it. I was at the BFI the other day, and I saw it, and I was like, "Well, I know who'll like that." And I looked at the price, right, and it said £10. I was like, "Oh, no, easy." I went up, and he said, "That'll be $22.99, please." I was like, "What?" I didn't say anything. I just went for it. I just bought it.
Very
and I think I
generous.
was looking at a hat instead, or I was looking at something else. So yeah,
There you
so I
go.
thought you'd like that.
Yes.
It matches your T-shirt
It
as well.
does. It's my special
Randomly.
Christmas jumper.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Anyway,
I don't have anything for you. I feel so bad.
I didn't think you would. It's fine. It was a kind of I left the price on there as well. Look at that.
It does have the price on it.
It
Yeah,
does
so I
have
don't know
the
why you
price
thought it was £10.
I don't know. 'Cause you don't have to wear it while you're filming.
No,
you
I think
can
I might
keep
get
that
that
for a warmer, a colder day. Like at the moment, it's pretty cold at the moment.
It is. Thank you
Anyway,
very much.
That's fine. So now you can
Now I can talk about it. Well,
go.
it's not exactly an unheard of
It's
film, is
not,
it?
It's not, is it? Why are we doing this film then?
Well, it's Christmas, and obviously it is a Christmas movie.
Obviously.
Whatever you might think,
Yeah.
it clearly is. Otherwise, they wouldn't make Christmas jumpers, would they? So,
No.
yeah, obviously it stars Bruce Willis as John McClane, who is a New York cop who's coming to see his wife
Bonnie Bedelia.
in LA. His estranged wife, who works for the Nakatomi Corporation. And he's going to the Christmas party at their new building. Yeah, it gets taken over by terrorists. Or are they terrorists? No one said they were terrorists. Because they're not terrorists. John McClane manages to hide, and so he doesn't get rounded up with all the other hostages. And then the film is him trying to free everyone and save his wife and defeat the bad guys. The greatest movie ever
And that's
made.
why we're doing it, isn't it? Because it's not very obscure, this film.
No.
But it's your favourite
It is. It
film
is.
ever. It's not my favourite film ever, although
It should be.
it's a great film. Hey, it is a fantastic film, and I probably would say it's probably the greatest action film ever made. I think it's an incredible. I mean, I watched it the other day for this again. I think you probably watch it every Christmas.
I do most Christmases, yeah.
It's a fantastic film, and it really. And it pulls you in straight away, and it's got some really great, memorable stuff in there. And it's kind of one of those films. And I've read a couple of people said similar things. Is that every time they watch it, they almost find something new in there. And I don't know if I find that, but it's just so watchable. I don't know how it's so watchable because there's a lot of action films that you watch again and again, and sometimes they get a bit boring. I mean, there's not a huge amount going on in the.
It hasn't got an overly complicated plot,
No.
which I think a lot of films suffer with these days.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no CGI and no. I mean, yes, there's ridiculous stunts that are over the top, but that's not unusual for an action movie. And there's far more ridiculous stuff going on these days in like the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah.
It's perfectly cast. Bruce Willis is just incredibly likable in it. Dare I say, relatable. Certainly compared to like Schwarzenegger in Commando and Stallone in Rambo and things like that, then they're muscle-bound, one-man armies.
Yeah,
whereas John McClane, he gets injured, he's hurt, and
and I think that's what's. I mean, he's like an everyday guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great about this film is that he does get injured, and the entire film he's getting more and more,
bloodied
bits
and
of
bruised,
bloodied and bruised and stuff like that. And you feel, and in fact, he said at the time, I think, that he played it as though he could die at any minute.
Yeah.
And you really get that feeling that he is vulnerable. Although it does it's a little bit silly when he goes down the lift shaft and he holds onto that thing with his fingertips. And you're like, yeah, I would have just... There's no way. But then it's Bruce Willis. You kind of go with it.
And of course, Alan Rickman's first screen role, he was been on stage for a number of years.
He's great in this film.
But he's absolutely brilliant as Hans Gruber. Everyone is perfectly cast. The script there's no fat on it. It's tightly written, perfectly paced. Cinematography is great, which is Jan de Bont. Obviously went on to direct Speed, which Die Hard on a Bus, as it's otherwise known.
Basically, yeah.
The music's amazing. Michael Kamen, who did loads of scores. I mean, he did Lethal Weapon as well, which doesn't sound. I mean, again, like a lot of these composers, you can tell it's their work when you think, oh, that sounds a bit, because they sound a bit similar. And there's the use of Beethoven's Ode to Joy as well, which just fits it perfectly. Yeah, there's nothing I would change about it at all. It's just perfect.
Because I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, obviously this one is a very, very famous film. So I was sitting there watching it, I was like, what exactly could we say about it that no one else says about it? And I was reading, and I thought, I know what we could talk about.
What's
that
that?
Not many other people talk about, although probably people do know. Is that it was based on a book.
Yeah.
It's based on a book called Nothing Lasts Forever, which was a sequel to a book called The Detectives, which was made into a film starring Frank Sinatra.
That's correct.
And they wanted Frank Sinatra to do Die Hard. Could you imagine?
No.
Frank Sinatra in a white wife beater.
I don't think they would have put that costume on him. I can't imagine him in it. I mean, it would have been a very different film, wouldn't it?
If I handed out to Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah,
as well.
Schwarzenegger was offered it, yeah. I mean, that would have, again, probably would have been a fun film, but it would have just been, it wouldn't have been the same, obviously. But it would have been more of your sort of standard.
Die Hard in the Jungle.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know.
Well, he would have had your usual American name in his thick Austrian accent, which never really makes sense.
But it was interesting. I mean, I haven't read the book, but so obviously in the book his character was called Joe, and in the book he was visiting his daughter, not his wife. But it was still German, and in fact the villain in it was called I think he's called Anton Gruber. So Gruber was the same name. They were German autumn era terrorists. So obviously the Red faction, the Red Army faction, and that lot. I think quite a few of the big set pieces came out of the book. So dropping the C4 down the lift shaft and things like that. There's quite a few things in there, and Al Powell as well. His a friend on the outside.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's a great. I mean, obviously, I sometimes feel like I'm devil's advocate in these videos. Maybe vice versa if you don't like the film I like. But there's nothing in here. I mean, I suppose the only thing to talk about being devil's advocate is the whole Christmas thing. Is it a Christmas film? Is it not? I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? There are loads of websites out there and articles that say, "Oh, it is a Christmas film. It's not a Christmas."
It's quite a boring thing that now comes up every year.
And does it matter? I mean, my devil's advocate stance would be that it wasn't released at Christmas.
No, it wasn't, no.
It came out in July.
Yeah.
So obviously in the eyes of the filmmakers, it wasn't a Christmas film. But then I remember it was a really interesting interview years ago I saw with Peter Weir, the Australian filmmaker who made Truman Show and other great films. And he said, I think he was talking about the director's cut of Picnic at Hanging Rock that he was working on. And he said once the film, it was a great quote, that once the film goes into the cinema, it ceases to be the filmmakers anymore, and it becomes the audience. So I kind of the position is, if you think it's a Christmas movie, this one, it's a Christmas movie, and no one else can really say otherwise, because it's now in the hands of you guys. It's in the hands of the audience, and if you think it's a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas movie, and it's got the whole film. It's set on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
it's got Christmas music in there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's Christmas decorations, like you say, and
Christmas jokes in there. I mean, I think I have in the past said, no, it's not a Christmas film. No, I think Die Hard is it's all about the guns and the Christmas party and the jokes in there to Christmas, and the whole film is. I would say it's a Christmas film.
It's a Christmas film that you can enjoy all year.
You can. It's true. It's
no.
No,
You
I
wouldn't
think
watch Christmas Carol in the summer, would you?
No, you
could.
wouldn't. You could if you wanted to. I have watched Scrooged in the summer before.
But yeah, I mean, the cast is filled with loads of familiar faces from 80s movies. You've got William Atherton in there as Richard Thornburg, the journalist, or the reporter, who obviously was in Ghostbusters as Walter Peck.
And I'll go, because there's a few Ghostbusters links in this film.
Is there?
Isn't
Go
there?
on then, go.
Yeah. So there's him.
Yeah.
And then there's Vigo.
Yeah, Wilhelm von Homburg.
Yeah, he's in there. And then also the woman news host. She is the mother of the party in Ghostbusters 2.
The mother of the party.
The kids' party at the beginning of
Oh,
Ghostbusters 2.
yeah.
She's the mother.
Right.
She's in this as well. And there's another one. There's another link. I was reading about it the other day.
It's good.
Because there's also, and he's not in Ghostbusters, but the guy in the drain, doing the electrics, is in Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
There you go.
A great actor. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy who's like driving down the railway track in Groundhog Day.
Oh right, yeah.
That one. He's the one. He's the one who turns out all the power.
Yeah, and who else? Robert Darby as Special Agent Johnson, and Al Leong, who is in Big Trouble in Little China. And,
that's right. He's Genghis Khan, isn't he, in Bill and Ted?
He is. Yeah. We seem to be working our way through Bill and Ted historical characters.
We are.
We had Socrates the other week,
we had
didn't we?
Socrates. We've had someone else. We've had Napoleon. He was in that Australian
Yeah,
film
we have.
did.
Yeah, so we need to find something that had Billy the Kid in it.
I have already got one on the back burner, ready to go. Yeah.
Who else was there? Joan of Arc.
I don't know who that is, but yeah, maybe we'll have a look.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to Wilhelm von Homburg, who was obviously Vigo in Ghostbusters 2. I mean, I think he died a few years ago, but I read an article on the internet about him. Really, well, I don't think he was a particularly nice person in real life, but a fascinating background and where he came from.
Didn't he? Yeah,
he was he
was a boxer, wasn't he?
He was a wrestler, I think, with his dad. And there was some real strange family stuff going on. I think his dad remarried somebody younger, and I won't go into more. Google it, and you'll probably come across the article on it. Okay. Yeah, I think he was an interesting character to say the least.
Okay, because the guy with the blonde hair, the long blonde hair,
Carl.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, he was a ballet dancer, and he was also in what film was he in? Is it Money Pit?
I don't know.
He's Shelley Long's husband before Tom Hanks.
Oh, right.
I know this stuff.
But no, I mean, he's great in it. Was it Alexander Godunov or Gordonov?
Golden, that's right. Yeah, that's him. He was also since passed. There's quite a few people in this
now
passed
away.
He
died quite a long time ago, yeah. No, he's great in it. He's really sort of menacing, and he just wants to kill John McClane.
He just wants to kill him because he kills his brother, doesn't he? And then after that, he's just literally... And it's got that great line when he comes back and he's like, it just smashes everything up, and John McClane's wife is like, what's the line?
Only John can drive someone that crazy? Something like that.
It's got some wonderful moments in. What's your favourite? Do you have a favourite scene?
Oh.
What is your favourite scene?
I do like when John McClane and Hans meet for the first time.
Oh, yeah, upstairs.
And he puts on his American accent. That's good. I don't know, there's so many. Argyle. We haven't mentioned Argyle, have we?
Yeah,
he's a great character. He doesn't have a great deal to do, but he's funny.
I think my favourite, and I mean it's got humour as well. It's got a nice. It's not over the top funny. It's not trying to be funny.
No.
It's got a good sense of humour all the way through it. And I think my favourite scene is always when he launches the body out of the window and it crashes on, and then he drives backwards off the thing, and it's such a crazy moment, and it's kind of that's the moment when the film really kind of takes off.
Yeah.
And I love that scene. It's a really, really great moment.
Talking about favourite scenes, one of my favourite characters is Ellis, played by Hart Bochner, I think, or Bochner, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But he's just hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah.
And
in fact, I mean that's a great scene when he first meets him and he's in Holly's office. And he's obviously taken the cocaine, and John as he walks past, says, "You missed some." It's just a classic moment. So we've spoken a while.
Yes.
Do you have it?
Of course.
Obviously, I don't actually. Funny, I've never owned Die Hard.
What?
I've never owned it on video. I never owned it on DVD, Jesus. And I haven't got it on Blu-ray. I don't know why.
All right.
I don't know why.
Well, I had it on full screen video, then I had it on widescreen video, then I had it on DVD, then I had it on another DVD, and then I had it on Blu-ray. And now I would like to upgrade to the 4K, even though I don't have a 4K TV yet. I do. The 4K apparently, from what I've read, it's better than the Blu-ray, unsurprisingly. And they're not always, but yeah, I think Die Hard definitely. I think films shot on film generally, if they are scanned well and restored properly, etc., then it does make them look pretty good. And I think Die Hard is one of them.
Obviously, when he gets to LA, comes off the plane, he's got that massive bear.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious because my mum went to Montana in 1980, around there, it was 88, 89, and she came back with, it was basically the same bear. In that, so every time I see that bear in that film, I always remember because I remember we went to pick her up from the airport, and she chucked the bear at me from behind. I didn't realise, and this thing kind of. But yeah, so every time I see that bear, I'm always reminded of because it's literally the same bear, which is always.
I thought when I was watching last night, I thought he's got 2 kids, yeah, but he's only got 1 bear.
He does.
So which kid is that for? Surely the other one is going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So unless
Favouritism.
Well, quite.
And it may have been for his wife.
Well, maybe. Maybe it was. Who knows?
So that was Die Hard, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, let us know in the comments below.
Hit the subscribe button up there, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. There's some other videos to check out over there. Come and find us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and join us next week for another video.